I believe that the Nigerians minister are men of understanding, men of knowledge. I believe that they were appointed ministers to be able to move the country forward, also to work for the progress of the country. Why the Tinubu's minister are invited in order to trash out some problems and they refuse the invitation. Why would they do that? Please, we will hear the remaining ones from the news as we continue. Now the headlines. Akpabio to Tinubu: warn your ministers who disrespect the National Assembly. Now the details. Senate President Godswill Akpabio has appealed to President Bola Tinubu to caution his ministers and heads of extra-ministerial departments who have formed the habit of disrespecting the National Assembly. The TheNewsGuru.com reports that the Senate President made the appeal on Wednesday during the presentation of the 2025 budget proposal by President Tinubu. Senator Akpabio stressed the importance of the need for the ministers and the heads of extra-ministerial departments to respond promptly to questions from the NAS whenever they are invited, particularly during this period, to come and defend their sectorial allocations. As I said before, the Nigerian ministers appointed by President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, I think they are men of competence. They are learned men. They are men that mean for the good of this country. So anytime they are invited by the National House of Assembly to trash out some cases in order to move this progress forward, I I advise them to always attend, most especially this time that Nigeria needs speedy reform so that the problems of economic crisis will be solved. At this time, Senate President Akpabio noted that any time that the ministers were invited in order to trash out some problems that will bring development to the country, some of them, especially the head of ministerials, will not attend or will not respect that invitation. Now, Akpabio told President Bola Tinubu to warn his ministers not to disrespect National House of Assembly anytime they are invited in order to question and solve some problems as the country demanded. Akpabio further stressed that the invitation often extended to the ministers and the heads of extra-ministerial department was in the exercise of legislative oversight. They should not see invitation as a nuisance. They should know that any invitation is constitutional, and we also have constitutional powers to take further actions when they refuse to appear. So, Mr. President may visit to caution some of the ministers who are intransigent and who do not give respect to these allowed chambers. The only place that shows democracy in the world is the National Assembly. Akpabio also said that President Bola Tinubu should warn and caution his ministers that if they are invited to an occasion, they should respect it, because this is where democracy speaks. This is where shows that democracy is in the heart of the people. For those who disregard invitations from the National Assembly are not Democrats and therefore have no place in your government, the Senate President told President Tinubu. Akpabio went further to say In spite of all achievement, Mr. President and our dear compatriots, is not yet Uhuru. We are light years away from where we ought to be. Some rivers remains to be crossed. The pains Nigeria feel now are mainly the pains of hardship occasions by reforms. Let's look at those pains, at the pains of childbirth. Immediately a child is born, rejoice starts with the smiles of the child. I urge Nigerians to be patient, to cooperate with you, and maintain faith in your vision. So the Senate President also advised that the minister should not think they are inviting them in order to do any other thing, but so that the National Assembly and the minister could work together and move Nigeria forward, especially now that Nigeria is passing through pains, that if they are invited, they should give they should give their attention so that things will be thrust out to give a speedy recovery to the nation. He added by advising the minister that this time that Nigeria is going through hardship is like a woman who is laboring to bear a child, that the moment that child is born, rejoicing started. In the same way, if they can come together earlier and trash out the problem that Nigeria is facing, he said that the economic crisis going on will be a thing of the past. But if they begin to look at one another without doing anything, if they continue to disrespect the National House of Assembly just as they are doing, the reform that is going on in the administration of President Bola Tinubu will not yield any result. So they need to work together in order that they could get results. Mr. President, you cannot be everywhere. We are your eyes in the 469 constituencies. We, the distinguished senators and all members of the House of Representatives, are your eyes in the constituencies and every corner of this nation. When our constituents struggle to afford rice and they cannot, they come to us. When their shoes pinch as a result of wear and tear and they cannot replace them, they come to us. Therefore, we are committed to ensuring that we help you at the grassroots level. Let no one attempt to bring the counsel of Ahithophel to bear that constituency projects are bad. So I want to take a moment to appreciate the tireless effort of National Assembly members who struggle on a daily basis to use their personal finances in order to help Mr. President when he is not available. Yes, what President, the Senate President is saying is the truth. That means it's a person that means good for the country. So I want to advise all the ministers occupying different ministry to do and then always attend meetings so that they could trash out any cases so that the country will move forward, because what we are seeing is not a good thing at all. The Nigerians, all corners, are crying because of the economic crisis. We can see that on daily basis commodities are being increased. What you buy at the rate of 5 naira today, tomorrow it becomes 15 naira. That is very bad. So we need Mr. President and all the National House of Assembly and as well as the minister to tackle this situation and bring the price of commodity down, because the Nigerians are crying as a matter of urgency. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening to us on this channel. Please do stay tuned and expect more news. Thanks.